Hey yo, what is groovy? What is good? It's your boy Papa Capes, and we are back with yet another Raid Shadow Legends video. Thank you so much to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me and directly supports the channel. If you or your friend or a family member or anybody that's part of your community choose to start with that link, you'll be greeted by Tholan Falbeard right out the gates, and as you progress just a little bit, you'll meet the likes of Ugo, Tagore, and Mausoleum Mage. Right now, you can still use code RAID7 for Pelops of Victor or code WRATH for Padraig. And still, the Web of Corruption is still live. You can secure a third legendary on your account by simply logging in for 7 days. And on the 7th day, you'll be greeted by Valorin, the Equalizer. Let's get into the video. So welcome back to the Champion Audit. This is Champion Audit number 3, Haggibah the Nestmaid. We recently got from doing our first ever Classic Fusion on my account. And yes, we weren't necessarily prioritizing her, we were prioritizing securing a second fusion token on our account, and that's exactly what we did. Keep in mind, this whole Champion Audit series isn't where we ask, is this champion good? We ask, is this champion good for my account specifically? Because we all know champions don't exist in a vacuum. And I mean, there's so many champions that could possibly be incredible on many people's accounts and still make absolutely no sense for me to build right now. First things first, ignore the build for now. This is just me throwing things on her without entirely understanding her kit properly. She is a Dark Elf legendary HP based champion. I almost want to say HP based bomber. Her A1's a single target HP burn, then gives herself perfect veil. The main question is that HP burn on the A1 genuinely useful, or is it too limited when comparing it to other HP burn champions on my account that bring that HP burn on an AoE attack? Her A2 Insidious Eruption, this is an AoE attack. It detonates bombs, it activates 1 tick of HP burn, and then also places a leech. This obviously immediately makes me think of pairing her with a champion like Supreme Galek, who can place those HP burns and then she can come through and activate it. But Supreme Galek also has an activation on his A2 that also activates his burns, if I'm not mistaken. So my question is, like, could pairing her with the Supreme Galek, could pairing her with Drexstar, could pairing her with Geomancer, maybe Geomancer is also a single target burn. Cupidus, maybe could pairing her with one of my other HP burners actually add value to my account? That's the question that I'm unsure about. As we move on to our A3, then Larval Consumption. This first of all will steal buffs from the enemy team, then she'll place 2 bombs. The bombs will then explode sooner against enemies who no longer have any active buffs on them. This genuinely feels like it's the center of her kit, this A3. The buff stripping, buff stealing type thing. She's actually attempting to remove the enemy's protection first and then continuing to place them. But does she add enough value as a buff stealer? I guess off the top of my head, the only buff stealer I know of is Geomancer on his A2, and I think Talina, who is a recent addition to my account. Is she a buff stealer as well? So Talina decreases the duration of all enemy buffs, but doesn't necessarily steal those buffs. That's where she could maybe add value then in terms of a buff stripper with her A3. But I think the puzzling part for me about this is, can she operate effectively independently, or do I need to find a team to kind of support her and reinforce her so that she can do what she needs to do? That's the question I have. Let me know down in the comments below right after you like and subscribe to the channel, because we out here, yo. But yeah, you guys know meeting you in the comment section right after these videos go live and having a debate, having a conversation about what we've discussed in these videos. It's literally the best part of doing what we're doing right here. So we need to ask ourselves, does she add enough value as a buff stealer? Can she operate effectively without a team built to support her, like a bomb team built around her? And does my account actually need this? Let's take a look then at her passive, Insect Lord's Vessel. She's immune to bombs and HP burns. She also retaliates with the bomb when enemies attempt to place CC effects on her or increase her cooldown. Like, that all sounds interesting in theory, right? She can potentially be a pain in arena, and I can definitely see potential usage against very specific champions, right? Very specific enemies. But how often will it genuinely impact the content that I'm currently working through and trying to get through? My Dark Elf faction wars off the bat is done, is complete already. I definitely see her adding value in Bommel, but off the bat, I can't think of a place that I will certainly use it in. Maybe Tag Team Arena, definitely. But where else? So let's just summarize that kit real quick. A buff stealer, a bomb champion, a HP burn activator, a source of leech, and potential punishment for enemy crowd control. It does sound like there's a lot of utility in a kit, but I mean, having a lot of jobs isn't always a good thing. Let's dive into certain areas a little deeper in my account where she could potentially be in use. Arena? No. I've recently incorporated Embreeze into my arena team, but I'm still not quite sure if I'm happy with his build. But this isn't about Embreeze, but I mean, my arena team still revolves around Arbiter, Otto, Mikey, Supreme Galek, and Ugo, and now the recent addition of Embreeze. So will she find space in my arena team? I don't think so. But that's where maybe like, I'm not too familiar with bombers. She's the second bomber on my account. The first bomber I have is an epic champion. Is it Grunge Killjoy? Right here. Grunge Killjoy. This is the only other bomber, to my knowledge, that I have on my account. So Haggibah is the first legendary bomber that I have on my account. So a lot of this could just be me being ignorant, right? But that's why we do this, so that I can learn and improve. I think immediately, right out the gates, Bommel is definitely where she could be used. I have seen some videos and seen some people comment on the fact that she can solo Bommel. I'm not quite sure why. Probably because of the way that HP burn in conjunction with the bombing comes through, and then the leech for the survivability. I'm not a guru in that regard, so I'm not quite sure. Especially the fact that I've got Brimstone on her. I can see why she could potentially solo Bommel. And if you guys use her for Bommel, to solo Bommel, please let me know once again in the comments below, and let me know how you've built her, so that I can potentially build her in a similar fashion, focus on that build, and then she can be a Bommel specialist. Why not? That's still adding value to my account. But my Doom Tower waves are sorted for now. I still can't make it through Doom Tower hard, and that's literally because of the waves. So that's where I could possibly experiment with her with that buff strip. I'm not quite sure, but maybe Doom Tower hard waves. Floor 90 upwards, I think it is. 96 or 97 is where I crumble. I am yet to finish Doom Tower hard. I have not finished Doom Tower hard, but this time we're going to try it with the introduction of many new champions to my account. And then I think it's a no-brainer. Yes, okay, we finished normal faction wars, but maybe she can come in and add value to hard faction wars. I mean, we're still 15 stars away from securing Lydia in normal faction wars, but then we'd like to work towards Carnage, right? I think Carnage is the reward for hard faction wars, unless I'm mistaken. Let's check. It is not Carnage, it is Polara Fireheart. My apologies, I stand corrected. Polara Fireheart. So where's Carnage from? Hardcore City? Carnage? Is he? Yes, okay, Carnage is from Hardcore City. All right. We discovered the truth. In terms of account synergy, I do have a couple of burners on my account. Like I mentioned briefly, Drexstar, Cupidus, Supreme Galek, Geomancer. That's just the main ones off the top of my head. Out of those, obviously Supreme Galek's the one that's built the best. He's an AoE burner as well, and I trust him. I use him. I'm familiar with this kit. But is there potentially a synergy that I'm unaware of with some other champions on my account? Like, yes, okay, cool, Fat Man does a burn on his A2 as well, but maybe there's a hidden synergy that I'm just unaware of. In order to build a champion though, you do need resources, and in terms of getting them to level 60, we currently don't have any chickens because of a recent champ training. We currently are sitting quite low on brews, as you can see right there, on potions. So we'll first have to farm the Force Keep so that we can get her to 6-star ascension once we get her to 6-star. So that answers the first question. We do not have what we need to get it to 6-star ascension. We have secured a 1-star soul on her. We don't have any more. Well, we got one legendary book for Clan Boss yesterday, I think. But will I prioritize booking her instead of finishing Master Heroes books? I don't think so. And this just reminds me that, like, yeah, pulling a champion is free. Building a champion is where it becomes expensive. Well, if we're being technical, like completing the classic fusion wasn't free. There's tons and tons and tons of resources we invested to secure Haggibah, but more importantly, the fusion token. Do we have gear for an HP bomber? I'm not quite sure. These are all questions that I'm not familiar with. I've never built a bomber on my account. I've built many HP burners, but I also was under the impression that bombers are attack based. Like I learned that attack percentage usually goes onto the gloves of a bomber, then chest attack percentage on a bomber, but she's an HP based champion. So wouldn't the bombs then scale off of HP? Damage based on HP, damage based on HP. Like, it looks like damage is based on HP. So would I then put HP percentage on the gloves? Would I put HP percentage on the chest? That's what I think off the bat. You guys let me know. But I mean, technically, when it comes in terms of investment, she's competing against like Embreeze. Okay, Embreeze is almost finished built. But then she's competing against like Masahiro. She's competing against Talina. She's competing against He-Man on my account for who to build first. And this is where I'm reaching out to you guys to let me know. Where do you think she falls in? Into what category? Build now, build soonish, or build in a couple of months, which is also perfectly fine. We didn't throw resources at this fusion for the champion necessarily. It was more so for the token. So I think this is kind of a tough one. I'm not quite sure. I think it's all just new to me in terms of building bombers. The only bomber I have, like I showed, is Grunge Killjoy, but I've never actually built a bomber to utilize in content. So that's why I'm reaching out to you guys. I've been attacked by some of these champions that do have these bomb abilities, like Nishak, for example. He does crazy damage with his bombs, but is she on that level? Reading a kit, I don't necessarily think so. I have no idea where she falls into. You guys, please help me out with this decision. Do we just put it in the vault for now? Do we build it in a couple of months when we've kind of recuperated our resources? Or is there a need that you guys can see right now on my account? Maybe Doom Tower Hard, maybe Pommel, which doesn't really limit me often. But yeah, please let me know, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'll meet you in the comments right after this video goes live. Thank you once again to Raid for sponsoring this video and for hooking us up with our own download link that you can find in the description down below. Using that link directly supports me, directly supports the channel. Happiness is a choice. Kindness is free. Leave your mark, yo. Peace out.